Shalom, shalom, Israel. First, giving honor to the Most High and Howard Shah. Hope everybody had a good Sabbath. Today's class, we're going to be dealing with the destruction of Nicanor. Just a little bit. There we go. We're going to be dealing with the destruction of Nicanor. We'll be going over the relationship in the end, Nicanor and Maccabees, as well as, touching a little bit as to Nicanor. The elder brought out a class earlier today with eye-opening information, and definitely you can see it in the book. Let's get into it. Give me Romans 15:4.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
It was written for what, bro?
For our learning.
See, this is the thing, Israel. We, as a people, we don't like to read. Reading is very essential. Some of us learn through doing. Some of us need to read. But at the end of the day, we all need to read to gain knowledge, gain understanding, gain wisdom needed. We've heard this Bible being verbally given to us all our life. It ain't changed nothing. Ain't did nothing. Ain't understood nothing. Ain't retained. Read it again from the top.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
This is for us to learn, for us to gain that piece of knowledge that we are missing ourselves, what we need to do, how we need to operate. Read.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
That we might have hope, that we might continue to have faith in the power of God. We're about to go into the destruction of Nicanor. Get into it, bro. Give me 2 Maccabees. Let's start at chapter 8. Start at verse.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 1. Then Judas Maccabeus and they that were with him went privately into the town, and called their kinsfolk together, and took unto them all such as continued in Jews' religion.
See, to give the background of what's going on, Judas Maccabeus, man, took the mantle from his father, Jephthahisrael, to, in essence, bring Israel back. They were veering off, getting into that Gentile state of mind, falling into philosophies and idolatries and sacrificial, and defiling the laws of God. Read it again, bro.
Then Judas Maccabeus and they that were with him went privately into the town, and called their kinsfolks together, and took unto them all such as continued in Jews' religion.
They say all such as continued to follow the law of God. But again, we had brothers and sisters who chose to follow after the Gentiles. Read.
And assembled about 6,000 men, and they called upon the Lord, that he will look upon the people that was trodden down of all, and also pity the temple profaned of ungodly men, and that he would have compassion upon the city, sore defaced, and ready to be made even with the ground, and hear the blood that cried unto him.
See, our people, man, we were being slaughtered, we were being destroyed, man, because we wanted to choose to follow the Lord. Our brothers and sisters, man, were being off by the opposition because we wanted to serve the Lord.
That's right.
This inflamed Jephthahisrael. This inflamed Maccabees. This inflamed the rest of his brothers, man. Some cold Levites, brothers of the temple, ready men to serve the Lord, mighty men. Read.
And remember the wicked slaughter of harmless infants.
He said, remember the wicked slaughter, harmless infants, our brothers and sisters and children. being slaughtered, being hung, being burned, being dashed. Read.
And the blasphemy committed against his name.
He's saying the blasphemy committed against the name of God, man. Sacrifices swine's flesh, man, in the temple, sprinkling blood upon the altar, and just defiling the face of the temple. These are the atrocities and blasphemies that was going on. And this is what Jephthahisrael, who led Maccabees, bro, take up their mantle and bring Israel back. To get rid of these people, man, that's causing them to err against the power. Read.
And that he would show his hatred against the wicked.
Against the what?
Against the wicked.
Read.
Now, when Maccabeus had his company about him, he could not be withstood by the heathen.
So, when the Lord is rocking with you, ain't no reason to fear anybody. Read.
For the wrath of the Lord was turned into mercy. Therefore, he came to unawares and burnt a town and city and got into his hand the most commodious places and overcame and put to flight no small number of his enemies.
What he's saying, man, he came in, bro, he wrecked shop and took the city back. Brought the people back. Used the power of the Lord, man, to be mighty men. Read.
But specially took he advantage of the night for such private attempts, insomuch that the fruit of his manliness was spread everywhere.
Man, he said, man, he took advantage of the night, bro. Came in and did what he needed to do for the people. Read.
So when Philip saw that the man increased by little and little, and that the things prospered with him still more and more.
You see, Philip, man, was someone for King Antiochus. Read.
And he wrote unto Ptolemy, the governor of Silosaria, and Phoenix, to yield more aid to the king's affairs.
Because the Maccabees, where they was wrecking shop against this reign, man. Against this tyranny, against the blasphemies of the Lord. Read.
Then forthwith, choosing Nicanor, the son of Patroclus, one of his special friends, he sent him with no fewer than 20,000 of all nations under him, to root out the whole generation of the Jews.
What was the whole purpose of Nicanor?
To root out the whole generation of the Jews.
So this man's agenda was to bring our people down to nothing. Was to crush the opposition. Was to crush the hopes. Was to crush the dreams. Was to crush the people, bro, that was fighting for their God. Fighting to serve their God. Fighting to uphold his law. Fighting. Who want to serve the power. His mission, his sole purpose is to stop. Read.
And with him he joined also Gorgias, a captain who is matters of war and had great experience. So Nicanor undertook to make so much money of the captive Jews.
See, Nicanor hated the Jews. Keep that in mind. Nicanor hated the Jews. It's going to come back around. But keep that in mind. Nicanor hated the Jews. Read.
And should defray the tribute of 2,000 talents, which the king was to pay to the Romans. Wherefore, immediately he sent to the cities upon the sea coast, proclaiming a sale of the captive Jews.
So he was proclaiming to sell our people, taking our people, man, and making money off of the flesh. Read.
And promising that they should have 80 bodies for 1 talent, not expecting the vengeance that was to follow upon him from the Almighty God.
They say not expecting the vengeance that's going to come from selling our brothers and sisters. It's flesh on the market, bro, as cattle. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, man. Nicanor is not of who you think he is. We're going to get into it. Give me 2 Maccabees 11, start at verse 12.
So, book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 11 and verse 12. Many of them also being wounded escaped naked. And Lysias himself fled away shamefully and so escaped.
See, Maccabees, bro, destroyed their opposition. Put to flight the enemy. Read.
Who, as he was a man of understanding, casting with himself what loss he had had, and considering that the Hebrews could not be overcome.
He said, considering what?
That the Hebrews could not be overcome. Because the Almighty God helped them.
Because what?
The Almighty God helped them.
Read.
And sent unto them.
Okay. Give me 2 Chronicles 20, 29. We're going to come right back. 2 Chronicles 20, 29. He say the Almighty God helped them. Read that, bro.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 20 and verse 29. And the fear of God was on all the kingdoms of those countries.
What was going on with Lysias?
The fear of God was on all the kingdoms of those countries.
Read.
When they had heard that the Lord fought against the enemies of Israel.
See, this is what's going on, man. The power is behind the spirit to the enemy. Let's go back. Start at verse 13.
Verse 13. Who, as he was a man of understanding, casting with himself what loss he had had, and considering that the Hebrews could not be overcome.
But he made up in his mind, you know what, bro? I'm gonna go ahead and take this L. I'm gonna grab what we got left, man, and I'm about.
Yeah.
I can't deter people that want to continue to serve their God.
That's right.
Read.
Because the Almighty God helped them, he sent unto them and persuaded them to agree to all reasonable conditions, and promised that he would persuade the king that he must needs be a friend unto them.
See, Lysias, he was the cousin and the protector of Antiochus, right? So he had the ear of the king. Read.
Then Maccabees consented to all that Lysias desired, being careful of the common good.
Being careful of the common good. Read.
And whatsoever Maccabees wrote unto Lysias concerning the Jews, the king granted it.
So I'm gonna go back and touch on. He say Maccabees. He was cautious of that common agreement, right? He was cautious of that common good. Let's see why that is. Give me some rock 12 and 2. Let's see why he was cautious. Let's see why he was hesitant and had eyes up. Read that, bro.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
What do you say, bro?
Never trust thine enemy.
Read.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Just because the enemy said, bro, that, okay, we gonna consent to what you need done. We gonna consent to what's being said. Yeah, we know you got a God. We know your God rocking with you, but that don't mean I'm out of that don't mean I'm done. But let's see why that is. Let's go back. 2 Maccabees 11 and 22. Let's go back and see. Go ahead, but read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 11 and verse 22. Now the king's letters contain these words. King Antiochus unto his brother Lysias sendeth greeting, since our father is translated unto the God. Our will is that they that are in our realm live quietly.
Is that this is what we require, that those that live under our rule live quietly. Read.
That everyone may attend upon his own affairs.
But see, in the beginning, that was not the case.
Yeah.
You had to fall into the commandment of the king. Maccabees wasn't having that. Mattathias wasn't having that. We weren't having that. We wanted to serve the Lord. Read.
We understand also that the Jews would not consent to our father.
That they would
not consent to our father.
That they did not want to consent to the rules of the king. Read.
For to be brought unto the custom of the Gentiles.
Because that was going to take them out of the grace of the power. For Israel have a long history, man, of being very wishy-washy with the power. These particular Israelites chose to follow the Lord, and they chose death over dishonor. Read.
But had rather keep their own manner of living.
See, rather wanted to continue to keep the laws of God. Read.
For the which cause they require of us that we should suffer them to live after their own law.
He said that they should suffer them to live after their own laws, that we should leave them alone and let them be. Now this is what's being wrote, right? This is what's being sent unto Lasai from King Antiochus, right? Read.
Wherefore, our mind is that this nation shall be in rest.
That what?
This nation shall be in rest.
You tell me, Israel, are you in rest right now?
Bring it out.
During this time, you weren't in rest because it was nothing but war. What you think going on right now? You're still at war. Albeit, it's not as physical as some of us who would want. Because all you hear these camps, bro, is war this, war that, war this, war that.
That's right.
Bro, our people need knowledge. You can't have no war without no information. You can't have no war without knowledge. You a sitting duck, ready to be picked off. With no armor, with no protection, bro, we need the power, bro. We need to serve the Lord. We need to love our brothers and sisters with all our heart, with all our mind. We need to treat them. That's how we would want to be treated. That ain't going on in Israel. Read.
And we have determined to restore them their temple, that they may live according to the customs of their forefathers.
So he said, not only are we going to let them have their own laws, we're going to leave them alone, and we're going to rebuild their temple, right? This is all the good game that's being wrote in the letter, right? Read.
Thou shalt do well, therefore, to send unto them, and grant them peace, that when they are certified of our mind, they may be of good comfort.
He said that thou shalt do well, therefore, to send unto them and grant them peace, that when they are comforted of our mind, they may be of good comfort. They are certified, meaning that once they get in their mind that we good, that we don't have no ulterior motive, that's gonna put them at ease. That's gonna make their guard drop. Read.
And ever go cheerfully about their own affairs. And the letter of the king unto the nations of the Jews was after this manner. King Antiochus sendeth greetings unto the council.
So this is a letter sent directly to the council of the elders. Read.
And the rest of the Jews. If ye fare well, we have our desire, we also in good health. Menelaus declared unto us that your desire was to return home.
Menelaus.
And to follow your own business. Wherefore, they that will depart shall have safe conduct till the 13th day of Xantios, with security.
So what it's saying is, all of the Israelites that want to leave, that don't want to be around the rule, they're going to give them safe passage to leave and go serve the Lord. Read.
And the Jews shall use their own kind of meat and law.
They gonna what?
Use their own kind of meat and law.
Read.
As before. And none of them any matter of ways shall be molested for things ignorantly done.
So what it's saying in this letter is that the Israelites can do what they need to do to be in peace with the power. That they are going to be able to have their own temple. That they're going to be able to eat and follow their own dietary law. That they're going to be able to serve the power, thus say the Lord. This is what's written in this letter. Right? This is that good game. Read.
I have sent also Menelaus, that he may comfort you. Fare you well. In the 148th year, and the 15th day of the month of Xanthicus, the Romans also sent unto them a letter containing these words. Quintus Memmius and Titus Manlius, ambassadors of the Romans, send greeting unto the people of the Jews. Wheresoever Lysias, the king's cousin, hath granted, therewith we also are well pleased.
So these ambassadors of the Romans, right? We all know that the Romans are the We've already touched on that. The elder already broke that down. Keep in mind, right? Again, Nicanor is a Roman, right? Read.
But touching such things as he judged to be referred to the king, after ye had advised thereof, send one forthwith, that we may declare as it is convenient for you. For we are now going to Antioch. Therefore, send some with speed, that we may know what is your mind. Farewell, this 108 and 14 year, the 15th day of the month Xanthicus.
Hold on before we jump into chapter 12. So we got two portions of a letter. The one sent from King Antiochus directly to the council of the Jews. We also have another letter sent to Lysias pertaining same information regarding what is supposed to happen with the Jews. We also have the letter here from the Roman ambassador for the Jews saying that we agree with what the king has requested. We're going to follow through with what the king has requested. We're going to allow you to serve your God, to do what you need to do, to be of your own people. Right? But let's see what really happened at the end of the day, right? Because it said, never trust your enemy, right? Read that, bro.
Chapter 12, and verse of 2nd Maccabees. When these covenants were made, Lysias went unto the king, and the Jews were about their husbandry.
So these covenants, meaning everything that was written in the letter, that they would be able to have and serve their God, that they would be able to live by their laws, that they would be able to eat their own meats, that they would be able to have their own dietary, that they would be able to teach their children of God, that they would be unharmed, that they would be at peace, that they would be at rest. Right? Words of a serpent, slicker than oil. Read.
But of the governors of several places, Timotheus and Apollonius, the son of Genius, also Hieronymus and Demophon, and beside them Nicanor, the governor of Cyprus.
And these are all of the Romans. Read.
Would not suffer them to be quiet and live in peace.
What happened now, Bruce?
Would not suffer them to be quiet and live in peace.
But yet we just read that we are going to allow the Israelites, bro, to do what they need to do for their God. That we accept the covenants of the king. That this is what we going to do. He said, never trust our enemy. Read.
The men of Joppa also did.
Hold on. Give me, before we go there, give me Sirach 12 and 10 again, bro. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
See, these covenants, bro, were set up as a ruse to drop the guard of the Israelites, to bring them to a non-eyes-up estate where they can be compact. Read.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Read.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet he take good heed and beware of him.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Beware the words. Slicker than all. Read.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
You're going to see that these words mean nothing. That this is BS. That at the end of the day, the nature is, we going to hurt Israel. We going to put to flight Israel because they want to serve their God, because they were chosen. Because they were the ones that were supposed to be put ahead. Read.
Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
Let's see what?
Overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
Read.
Neither let him sit at the right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at last remember my word, and be pricked therewith.
See. They never trust your enemy, because at the end of the day, his true nature is to be himself.
That's right.
betrayal, evil, atrocity. Let's go back. Let's read it again, verse 2.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 12 and verse 2. But of the governors of several places, Timotheus and Apollonius, the son of Genius, and also Hieronymus, and Demophon, and beside them Nicanor, the governor of Cyprus, would not suffer them to be quiet and live in peace. The man of Joppe also did such an ungodly deed.
See, these were, Joppe was another area, bro, that was encompassed around the Israelites, the Jews. Read.
They prayed the Jews that dwelt among them to go with their wives and children unto the boats which they had prepared, as though they had meant them no harm.
So they set it up to where they had boats established and bid the Israelites, man, to come to the boats, man. Come get on the boats. Come sail away. Go ahead and leave like it was ordained that you can leave and go serve your God, which was all the rules. Read.
Who accepted of it according to the common decree of the city, as being desirous to live in peace.
As being desirous to live in peace, bro. They just wanted to live in peace and serve the Lord. They just wanted to live in peace, man, and serve the Lord. But what happened? Read.
And suspecting nothing, but when they were gone forth unto the deep, they drowned.
They what?
They drowned.
Read.
No less than 200 of them.
So at the end of the day, bro, your God say never trust your enemy. Never trust your enemy. Because at the end of the day, they gonna live out their true nature. Or drown. Set our people up. Yeah, man, you wanna serve your God? Yeah, man, you can go, matter of fact, we're gonna give you the boats you can leave on. Again, these are the people that decided that, yeah, we're gonna follow the covenants that was established by King Antiochus. You're going to live in peace. You're going to live in rest. You're going to get to do what you need to do for your God. Does that sound like peace? Does that sound like rest? So this is what we're dealing with. This is the ungodly, blasphemous, vile people that we're dealing with. Ones that don't want to love, to serve. Ones that want to be a menace. Ones that want to live in the world. Again, man, wow. The other day. Keep on. Give me a second, Maccabees. Chapter 14. Start at verse 7. Give me verse 1. Excuse me. Read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 14 and verse 1. After 3 years was Judah informed that Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, having entered by the haven of Tropolis with a great power and navy, had taken the country and killed Antiochus.
Okay, so now there's a new ruling factor, right? Demetrius, this is the new ruling factor. He took out Antiochus. Read.
Had taken the country and killed Antiochus and Lysias his protector.
So took out Antiochus and Lysias his cousin. Read.
Now one, Alcimus.
Now, Alcimus is an Israelite who chose to live a Gentile lifestyle. We're about to read into it. Read, bro.
Now one Alcimus, who had been high priest.
Who had been what?
And high priest.
So he was a high priest of the people. Had been a high priest of the people because when the Maccabees hit the scene, bro, they had to get rid of everything that was going against God. This particular brother was a lover of the Gentile state of mind. But yet he called himself a high priest of the temple. Read.
And had defiled himself willfully.
Now what?
Defiled himself willfully.
And had defiled himself willfully with that Gentile state of mind. Read.
In the times of their mingling with the Gentiles, seeing that by no means he could save himself, nor have any more access to the holy altar.
Because he chose to defile himself. Read.
Came to King Demetrius in the 101 of 15 years, presenting unto him a crown of gold and a palm, and also of the bowls, which were used solemnly in the temple. And so that today he held his peace, howbeit, having gotten opportunity to further his foolish enterprise.
So what it was is he seen that, all right, Antioch is gone, Lysias is gone, we got a new person that's ruling. Let me see if I can rub shoulders. Let me see if I can get in good. Read.
And being called into council by Demetrius, and asked how the Jews stood affected, and what they intended, he answered thereunto.
So now, he's about to get into what his true motive is, right? Again, he was a high priest, right? Read.
Those of the Jews that be called Assyrians, whose captains is Judas Maccabeus, nourisheth war.
They what?
Nourisheth war.
Read.
And are seditious, and will not let the realm be in peace.
He said they will. They they nourish war and are seditious and will not let the realm be in peace. He pretty much saying, man, he don't want them to do anything outside of the will of the Lord. We want to go over here and party and be Gentiles. No, he wants us to serve God. I don't like that. I want to go and do what I want to do. Give me Amos 5 and 10. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's see if this ain't what we hear. Let's see if this is not what we be casting down. Read that right quick.
The book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate.
He say, man, Maccabeus nourishes war, bro. He's seditious. He don't want peace. Because he rebuking. He telling you clean up your act. He telling you come serve the Lord. He telling you get right, Op. Check yourself, Op. Look in the mirror. Get your household in order. Truly love your brother. Love your sister. Where the charity at? How you call yourself a high priest and you not treating this the way it need to be treated? You supposed to be over the sheep. You supposed to be the shepherd for the sheep, but you leave them to the wolves for slaughter.
That's right.
Read it again, bro.
They hate him that rebuketh in the gate.
Bro, he want to see Maccabeus dead, so he can do what he want to do and get put back into the status of a high priest. Read.
And they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
He said they what?
Abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
Bro, this is literally what's going on.
That's right.
Read.
For as much, therefore, as your treating is upon the poor, and ye take from him burdens of wheat, ye have built houses of hewn stone.
You good. Bro, this is literally what's going on. He hated the fact that Maccabeus was changing everything back to what it was in the beginning. Order, love, charity, the service of God, being in obedience. He said, nah, man, I don't like that. I've been with the Gentiles too long, man. I like how they do things. I like that they get to defile the Sabbath. I like that they get to eat their pork. I like that they get to have any and everything that they want. See, again, man, I was just talking about this today, bro. We don't like boring because boring and it's too good. It's too happy.
Bring it out.
We need some toxicity in our life. This is literally what this is. Because living and serving God, bro, it's not no extra excitement and thrills. Not like going and doing what you want to do out in the world. Not like going and getting so drunk that you black out that you don't know what's going on. Not getting to turn up and blow the check. Get to be wicked. Let your spirit do whatever you want to do. Nah. Now see, the Lord different. There's order. There's stability. There's safety. We don't like boring. We need some toxicity in our life. And that's exactly the type of spirit this brother was on. Right? Let's go back. Start at verse 5.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 14 and verse 5. Howbeit, having gotten opportunity to further his foolish enterprise, and being called into council by Demetrius, and asked how the Jews stood affected, and what they intended, he answered thereunto. Those of the Jews that be called Assyrians, whose captain is Judas Maccabeus, nourisheth war, and are seditious, and will not let the realm be in peace.
Read.
Therefore, I, being the pride of my ancestors' honor.
He say, I, me. He's thinking of himself at this moment, again, to further his own enterprise. I. He say, I, being deprived of mine ancestors' honor. Read.
I mean the high priesthood.
He say, me, being in high priesthood, I was deprived of that because Judas Maccabeus came on the scene and started shaking everything back. I wanted to live a Gentile lifestyle and still be a high priest and guide the sheep to the wolves to slaughter. But now he changed all that. He took my position. He made it to where I couldn't do what I want to do. Read.
Am now come hither.
He said, now I come here. I come to you. I need you to make this right for me. I need you to put me back in the position that I was in. I don't want to serve the Lord. I want to do what I want to do. Bro, what does this sound like? It's the same song and dance, brother, Israel love to do.
That's right.
This is what we fight. Brothers that know of good and choose not to do it. Brother, know of good and choose not to do it. We still got that going on right now in Israel.
That's right.
Give me Isaiah 30 and verse 9. Read that, dude.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 9. That this is a rebellious people.
What's going on with Brew?
That this is a rebellious people.
The so-called used to be high priest.
That this is a rebellious people.
Read.
Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
They will what?
Not hear the law of the Lord.
Read.
Which say to the seer.
Which said to Judas Maccabeus, man, I've seen it said to Judas. Read.
See not. And to the prophet. Prophesy not.
Bro, don't see me over here doing what I want to do, bro. Don't see me over here Cadillacing it and bumping shoulders with the Gentiles. Don't see me over here doing what I want to do, bro. I don't want to hear that. Read.
Prophesy not unto us right things.
Don't tell me, bro, I need to come back and serve the Lord. Don't tell me that I need to put the pork down. Don't tell me that I need to stop lying to the people. Don't tell me that I need to stop bringing the people to death. Read.
Speak unto us smooth things.
Let me do what the hell I want to do.
Bring it out.
Let me be me. Read.
Prophesy deceits. Get ye out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease before him.
He say, bro, get out of the way, bro. Get out of my way. Let me do what I want to do, bro. Let me be me. Let me live my Gentile lifestyle. Let me be me. Bro, we still fighting this right now in Israel, bro.
That's right.
This is the same spirit. This is why this had to go down. This is why we was in the state of mind that we in now. Brothers and sisters want to be selfish. Let me be me. Let me be wicked. Let me be a liar. Let me be a murderer. Let me be a blasphemer. Let me have that hatred. Let me have that malice. Let me be ignorant. Let's go back. Start at verse 6.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 14 and verse 6. Those of the Jews that be called Assyrians, whose captain is Judas Maccabeus, nourishing war, and are seditious, and will not let the realm be in peace. Therefore I, being deprived of my ancestors' honor, I mean the high priesthood, am now come hither. First, verily for the unfeigned care I have of those of things pertaining to the king.
He say, first, verily of the unfeigned care I have of things pertaining to the king. Meaning everything that is of a Gentile state of mind, everything that is contrary to what the Lord want me to do, I'm all with it. I'm unfeigned. When you ain't even got to ask me, I'm 100 about it. Read.
And secondly, even for that I intend the good of mine own
See
countrymen.
what?
Even for that I intend the good of mine own countrymen.
Read.
For all our nation in no small misery through the unadvised dealing of them aforesaid.
See, what he's saying is, I intend the good of mine own countrymen, meaning I intend to bring everybody under the rule of the king. I intend to bring everybody into the Gentile state of mind. See, we going through misery right now because they don't want to bow down. They don't want to be like beans. They don't want to be like beans and state property. Get down and lay down.
Get out.
They don't want to get down. So what I need you to go ahead and take him out. I need you to go ahead and get rid of Judas Maccabeus. Give me Exodus 34, start at 12. Read that, bro.
The book of Exodus, chapter 34 and verse 12. Take heed to thyself.
He said what?
Take heed to thyself.
See, this is what I've seen should have been doing. Read.
Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest.
Let's see, he made an inhabitant. He made a covenant with the inhabitants here, man. He made a covenant with the Gentile state of mind, man. He made a covenant wanting to disregard the love of God, wanting to disregard the love of his brother, wanting to disregard the order, the power, the peace. Read.
Lest it be for a snare in the midst of you.
See, this was a snare. For all the brothers and sisters, man, that wanted to lay down with the Gentiles, man, wanted to get into their state of mind, bro. This was a snare. Read.
But ye shall destroy their altars.
He say, but instead, you're going to destroy the altars. Read.
Break their images and cut down their groves.
You're not going to fall in line. Read.
For thou shalt worship no other God.
For what?
For thou shalt worship no other God.
See, he was so eager to fall into the rule of the king, bro. The Gentiles became his God. Completely disregarding. See, this is what we're dealing with still in Israel, bro. We fighting this right now. Brothers not wanting to get out of that state of mind, man. Brothers literally worshiping their elders as God. Worshiping the man instead of Christ. Worshiping the man instead of the power. Being led right into the fire. Destroying their own stuff. Read.
For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
Read.
Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land.
He say, lest thou make that covenant like you've done. Read.
And they go a-whoring after their God.
What our seamers did.
Lest they go a-whoring after other gods.
Read.
And do sacrifice unto their God. And one called thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their God. And make thy sons go a-whoring after their God.
See, this is what he meant by when he said, I intend the good of mine own countrymen. For all our nation is no small misery through the unadvised dealings of them aforesaid. He said, I want to get them to go on. I want to bring up the children to be into this state of mind. I want the children to be to disregard the Lord. I want the children to be to not have hope in the Father. I want the children to be to not have the law. I want the children to be in a Gentile.
Bring it out.
That's what he meant by when he said the good of his own country. So people like this got hope. That's right. People like this can't make it. People like this, you got to cut this cancer out immediately. Because if not, it's going to sow that seed of death. It's going to sow that seed of hate. It's going to sow that seed of lies. It's going to sow that seed, man, of imbalance. You got to cut it out. All because this man want to do good for his countrymen, man. Bring them back into the fold, man. Bring them back into being able to serve the Lord. He don't want that. He want chaos. He need that. He don't like the war. This is what we dealing with, man. Let's go back. Matter of fact, before we do that, give me Matthew 5. See, the spirit and the mind of Alcinous, man, should sound very familiar. Right? It should sound very, 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 very familiar to you. Because it's the same spirit as these brothers right here, man. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 19. Let's see what this sounds like. Read that, bro.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
See the commandment we just read, bro. He said don't put no other God before me, right? Falling into those snares, falling into those traps, right? He said break the least of this commandment, read.
And shall teach men so.
See, I intend the good of mine own countrymen, right?
Bring it out.
Read.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
See, this is what Judas Maccabeus was doing. He was trying to teach them, trying to bring them in, trying to let them be what they need to be for the Lord. Read.
For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees.
See, Alcinous is falling into the same spirit of the scribes and Pharisees. This is that same spirit that Christ was battling with. This is the same thing. Bro, it say nothing to do under the sun. Same dealing. Same spirit. Same spirit. Bro, we got that still right now in Israel today. That same thing. Read it again, bro.
For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Bro, you're not going to be able to truly find yourself, bro, until you get rid of that spirit. Israel, it's time to let go of those snares, man. It's time to really look for the Lord, bro. It's time to really serve the power. It's time to really seek Christ, bro. Knock on that door. Being in order is part of that. Now, let's go back. Give me a second, I have to do 14.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 14 and verse 6. Those of the Jews that be called Assyrians, whose captain is Judas Maccabeus, nourisheth war and are seditious, and will not let the realm be in peace.
Bro, he's literally spewing out that same scribe and Pharisee spirit, bro.
Bring it out.
Read.
Therefore I, being deprived of mine ancestors' honor, I mean the high priesthood, am now come hither. First, verily for the unfeigned care, I have of those things pertaining to the king. And secondly, even for that I intend the good of my own countrymen.
I intend to lie. I intend to steal. I intend to be deceitful to my own countrymen. Read.
For all our nations is in no small misery through the unadvised dealings of them aforesaid. Wherefore, O king, seeing thou knowest all these things, be careful for the country and our nation, which is pressed in every side, according to the clemency that thou readily showest unto all. For as long as Judas liveth, it is not possible that the state should be quiet.
He say, for as long as this brew is alive, bro, we ain't gonna be able to do what the hell we want to do. Bro, don't that sound like the same thing they said about Christ?
That's right.
Bro, these things, bro, this spirit is still alive. We need to get rid of it. Exact same thing they said about Christ. Oh, bro, you gonna come in here and change up what we doing? Nah, bro, I like this. Bro, you know what? He the devil. He a liar. He's not who he say he is. Read.
This was no sooner spoken of him, but others of the king's friends, being maliciously set against Judas.
Being what?
Maliciously set against Judas.
These the same people. The same people that in the end, the same people that earlier was like, we're going to agree to you being at peace. We're going to agree to you being at rest and drown your people. Read.
Did more incense Demetrius, and forthwith calling Nicanor.
Calling who?
Calling Nicanor.
See, calling Nicanor. Again, remember, Nicanor was charged of destroying the Jews. Read.
who had been master of the elephant, and making him governor of Judah. He sent him forth, commanding him to slay Judas and to scatter them that were with him.
He said he commanded him to do what?
To slay Judas and to scatter them that were with him.
Me.
And to make Alcemus high priest of the great temple.
Bro, at the end of the day, his own enterprise was to get his status back. And he can't do that if Judas is still alive. Bro, give me Matthew 23 and 2. Read that right there.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within there are full of extortion and excess.
Bro, this is literally what he's doing. He's using the people as a front to disregard how filthy the inside of his cup. To disregard how vile his spirit is. How vile his mind is, bro, to wish death upon his brother. Again, it said he hates that rebuketh in the gate. Bro, speak unto me live, man. Tell me these smooth things, bro. Don't tell me what I need to do. I'm not trying to hear that I need to be in order. I'm not trying to hear that I'm supposed to be well off. I'm not trying to hear that. Go back. Give me second Matthew 14 verse 7.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 14, verse 17. Now Simon, Judas' brother, had joined battle with Nicanor, but was somewhat discomfited through the sudden silence of his enemy. Nevertheless, Nicanor, hearing of the manliness of them that were with Judas, and the courageousness that they had to fight for their country, durst not try the matter by the sword.
He say, man, you know what? Judas and his brothers, man, is fighting. I'm gonna hold up before I really try to put an end with it. Read.
Wherefore he sent Poseidonus and Theodotus and Mattathias to make peace. So when they had taken along advisement thereupon, and the captain had made the multitude acquainted therewith, and it appeared that they were all of one mind, they consented to the covenant, and appointed a day to meet in together by themselves.
So what Nicanor did was he was apprehensive. He was like, you know what? Okay. Power's still rocking with you. You still got a God fighting with you. Let's hold up, man. Let's see if we can make a peace treaty. Let's see if we can come together. Read.
And when the day came and stools were set for either of them, Judas placed armed men ready in convenient places.
He did what?
Placed armed men ready in convenient places.
See, that brother knew what was up, because the last time that we went through something like this, the last time we took the words of peace from our enemy, bro, they showed their true colors. Read.
Lest some treachery should be suddenly practiced by the enemy. So they made a peaceable conference. Now Nicanor abode in Jerusalem.
Hold on. Give me Proverbs 16 verse 7. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 7.
Read.
When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemy to be at peace with him.
See, this is the type of power that was rocking the Maccabees. See, the enemy had a second thought. Again, Nicanor's whole charge was to destroy the Jews. But when he realized, you know what, hold on, Maccabees got something going on. You know what, let me hold up. Let me see if I can be at peace right quick. Go back. Back in Maccabees. 14.
The book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 14 and verse 23. Now Nicanor abode in Jerusalem, and did no hurt, but sent away the people that came flocking unto him.
So after their conference with the peace treaty, it said Nicanor stayed in Jerusalem and did not hurt, but sent away the people of the Jews.
And he would not willingly have Judas out of his sight, for he loved the man from his heart.
Hold on, he did what?
For he loved the man from his heart.
Okay, but again, right? Nicanor was charged with destroying the Jews, right? Yet he loved Maccabees, this man after his own heart, in a war. I mean, fighting for a purpose. But he loved the man with his own heart. Bro, who do you think Nicanor was? Bro, it get deep, bro. The elder is revealing the veils, bro. He's lifting the veils, man. The power is working, man. The truth is being brought out in Israel. Time to drink up. Read.
He prayed him also to take a wife.
He what?
He prayed him also to take a wife.
So he loved him from his own heart. He prayed at him to take a wife, read.
And to beget children.
And to even get children, read.
So he married, was quiet, and took part of this life.
So he had a wife, children, had a decent life at this point. From this peace treaty, right? Between Nicanor and Maccabees, right? But let's see what happened. Read, bro.
But Alcemus,
But who?
But Alcemus,
Read.
perceiving the love that was betwixt them,
Saw that. Hold up. Alcemus said, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, Nicanor. You supposed to be taking him out. What you doing having peace? What you doing having love? Hold on, what's going on? That ain't what the king said. How can I get back into my status if you over here being lovey-dovey? If you over here showing courage, showing compassion, how am I gonna get my stuff back? Read.
And considering the covenants that were made, came to Demetrius and told him that Nicanor
hold up. He did what?
Came to Demetrius.
So he went and tattletale that, hold up, wait a minute. Nicanor ain't doing his job. He over here trying to be at peace.
Bring it out.
I just told you, King, man. I just told you, Demetrius, bro, ain't no peace if Judas is alive. Read.
And told him that Nicanor was not well affected toward the state.
Nicanor ain't doing his job, bro. He ain't doing what he was supposed to be doing. Read.
For that he had ordained Judas, a traitor to his realm, to be the king's successor.
So he said that Judas should be the successor to the king. But yet, Alcemus is calling him a traitor because he don't want to get down with the BS. He don't want to follow the ways of the Gentiles. He don't want to disregard his God. That makes him a traitor? This is the mind state of the scribes and Pharisees. Read.
Then the king, being enraged and provoked with the accusation of the most wicked man, wrote to Nicanor.
Hello, okay, so now he done snitched on him, man. He done told him, hey, bro, he ain't doing his job. Now Demetrius done sent a letter to Nicanor. Read.
Signifying that he was much displeased with the covenant.
That Demetrius was displeased with the peace treaty between him and the Jews. Read.
And commanding him that he should send Maccabees prisoner in all haste unto Antioch.
So that he commanded Nicanor, hey, bro, stop being buddy-buddy with this man and go on and get him up out of here. Do your job, right? Read.
When this came to Nicanor's hearing.
When this letter came, bro, when these words came, when they touched his ear, when he seen it, when he read it, read.
He was much confounded in himself.
He was what?
Much confounded in himself.
Bro, he was lost. He was like, wait a minute, wait. Huh? Read.
And took it grievously that he should make void the articles which were agreed upon.
He said he took it grievously that he was going to have to go ahead and do this man something. He took it grievously, brother, to the point where it confounded him. Like, dang, man, he cool though. He after my own heart, bro. I wanted him to have a wife. I wanted to have children. I wanted him to be happy. But again, Nicanor hated the Jews, but loved Maccabees. Read it again, bro, verse 28.
Verse 28. When this came to Nicanor's hearing, he was much confounded in himself, and took it grievously that he should make void the articles which were agreed upon. that man being in no fault.
That who?
That man being in no fault.
Maccabees being in no fault. But let's see what type of brew out Seamus really was. Give me Leviticus 19 and 17.
No.
Let's see what type of spirit this man had. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. Read that out.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Bro, that's pure hatred.
That's right.
That you would disrupt the peace of your countrymen. The people that you said you wanted to do well for, that you would disrupt their peace all because you couldn't get your status back. Because peace stood in the way of you being what you wanted to be, a demon. Read it again, bro.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Bro, that's a whole hatred for your whole country. Your whole countrymen. That you want to rob them of their peace. Just because you wasn't put back in your status to be with you. Read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
See, this is what Jesus was doing, bro. He didn't hate you. He was trying to rebuke you. Trying to show you the error of your ways. Trying to bring Israel back, bro. Trying to get them back into the state where they good. They have to work. They can live and serve God all day long. Read.
And not suffer sin upon him.
But see, you're doing the opposite. Jesus was not trying to suffer sin upon him. He was trying to rebuke him. Now, I don't like that. I hate them that rebuke at the gate. Speaking to me smooth things, bro. Don't tell me I'm doing wrong. Read.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
But see, this is exactly what's going on. This is such a hard grudge bear against Judas, bro, that you would interrupt the peace of your countrymen. Just so you can get put back in the status, bro. Selfish. Evil, wicked, and vile. Read.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
But see, that ain't no love right there. That's pure hatred. That's pure malice. Tell me, man. Trying to open these books to read, man. Trying to open these books to read. Let's go back. Second Maccabees, chapter 14, verse 26.
The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 14, verse 26. But Alcina, perceiving the love that was betwixt them, and considering the covenant that were made, came to Demetrius and told him that Nicanor was not well affected toward the state, but that he had ordained Judas a traitor to his realm, to be the king's successor. Then the king, being in a rage, and provoked with the accusations of the most wicked men, wrote to Nicanor, signifying that he was much displeased with the covenant, and commanding him that he should send Maccabeus prisoner in all haste unto Antioch. When this came to Nicanor's hearing, he was much confounded in himself, and took it grievously that he should make void the articles which were agreed upon, the man being in no fault. But because there was no dealing against the king.
Give me jump down to verse 37.
Verse 37. Now was there accused unto Nicanor one Razin, one of the elders of Jerusalem?
See, this brother here was doing right by his people. This brother here was known as the father of the people, right? Read.
And a man, a lover of his countrymen, and a man of very good report.
So this man, he's a man that loved his people and had a good report. Read.
Who, for his kindness, for his kindness
to his people, read,
was called the father of the Jews.
He was called a father of the Jews, read.
For in the former time, when they mingled not themselves with the Gentiles, he had been accused of Judaism, and did boldly jeopard his body and life with all vehemency for the religion of the Jews.
So what he did was he served the Lord. He served the Lord. See, what Nicanor decided to do was to get Maccabees to come out, to get Maccabees to show himself. Because what Maccabees did was, once he saw that Nicanor started to change up, and he started to go back into that wicked spirit, he dipped. So what Nicanor did was chose to use this man as a martyr. Read.
So Nicanor, willing to declare the hate that he bare unto the Jews.
Willing to what?
Declare the hate that he bare unto the Jews.
He say, never trust your enemy. At the end of the day, your enemy is going to do what your enemy going to do.
That's right.
Reveal himself to be a snake. Read.
Sent above 500 men of war to take him. For he thought by taking him to do the Jews much hurt.
He did what?
Thought by taking him to do the Jews much hurt.
He thought that by hurting this man here, by killing this man, that he was going to bring hurt into the people. Read.
Now when the multitude would not have taken the tower and violently broken unto the outer door, and bade that fire should be brought to burn it, he being ready to be taken on every side fell upon his horde.
See, what he did was, Aziz, man, he said, you know what? Instead of them coming in here on this BS, bro, I'm going to just go ahead and take myself out, because it's going to be worse if they get. Read.
Choosing rather to die manfully than to come into the hands of the wicked.
He chose, man, to die manfully instead of being defiled by the enemy. Read.
To be abused otherwise than beseem his noble birth, but missing his stroke through haste, the multitude also rushing within the door.
So he ended up missing, striking himself, bro, trying to do it in haste. So now that they've run in, the people breached the door, right? The enemy, Nicanor and his men, read.
He ran boldly up to the wall and cast himself down manfully among the thickets of them.
So he decided, you know what, since I missed, bro, y'all ran in, I know y'all gonna try to do me something dirty. I'm gonna jump. Read.
But they quickly giving back, and a space being made, he fell down into the midst of void places.
So what it is was, when he decided to jump, everybody at the bottom seen, and they moved out the way, dispersed. He hit the ground. Read.
Nevertheless, while there was yet breath within him.
He said, nevertheless, while there was breath in him, meaning he jumped from this high place and still had breath in him. Read.
Being inflamed with anger.
Being inflamed with anger that the treaty was destroyed, bro. That the enemy decided to show themselves to be the enemy. Read.
He rose up, and though his blood gushed out like spouts of water, and his wounds were grievous, yet he ran through the midst of the throng.
Meaning he ran through the crowd. Throng is just a crowd. Read.
And standing upon a steep rock, when as his blood was now quite gone, he plucked out his bow, and taking them in both his hands, and cast them upon the throng.
And cast them upon that crowd. Read.
And calling upon the Lord of life and spirit to restore him, those again, and thus he died.
So what he did was, he was calling on the power, man, to restore the people of Israel, man, restore them back, because Nicanor decided to break the treaty. He got a letter from the king and disapproval of him having peace, because Alcimus wanted to get his spot. So Alcimus in turn forced this brother here to literally take a nose. That's why he say don't hate your brother.
That's right.
Brothers, this is the type of spirit, bro, that's still around. I gotta get me. Bro, we calling for brothers to sit down so we can all serve the Lord. Because there's things going around Israel, bro, that's ridiculous. And it's causing more harm than good. It's causing more hurt. Because this type of spirit is still around. That self-spirit, man. Read on, bro. Come down to verse 1 of chapter 2.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15 and verse 1. But Nicanor, hearing that Judas and his company were in the strong places about Samaria, resolved without any danger to set upon them on the Sabbath day.
He said, resolved not to set upon them on the Sabbath day.
Nevertheless, the Jews that were compelled to go with him said, "Oh, destroy not so cruelly and barbarously, but give honor to that day."
So he said, you know what? The ones that with him, he said, bro, don't go and be cruel or barbarous, man. On the Sabbath day, don't do it, read.
Which he that seeth all things hath honor with holiness above other days. Then the most ungracious wretch demanded, if there were a mighty one in heaven that had commanded the Sabbath day to be kept.
He said what he said was he speaking blasphemy. He said, man, ain't nobody in the heaven, bro. Ain't nobody commanded that this day be sacred, that this day be holy. That person don't even blasphemy. Read.
And when they said, there is in heaven a living Lord, and mighty, who commanded the seventh day to be kept, then said the other, and I also am mighty upon the earth.
So then he said, I am also mighty on the earth. I'm a God among men. Read.
And I command to take arms and to do the king's business.
See, that letter just woke up that demon spirit. When he realized, okay, he falling out, he falling out of favor with the king, bro. I gotta turn it up. I gotta make up for lost time. Bump your God that you think here, man. I'm gonna do what I need to do. Read.
Yet he obtained not to have his wicked well done. So Nicanor, in exceeding pride,
read,
and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with him.
He said he decided to go ahead and erect the monument because he was going to attack on the Sabbath. Read.
But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him.
Yeah, what?
Ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him.
Read.
Wherefore, he exhorted his people not to fear the coming.
He did what?
Exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty. And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battle that they were won afore.
He said that they already won. Putting them in the mind state, bro, that your God is already fighting for you, that you already won. The battle is already won. Read.
He made them more cheerful.
He did what?
Made them more cheerful.
Read.
And when he had stirred up their mind, he gave them their charge, showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oath.
He say he showed them, bro, the falsehood of the heathen, man. The breaking of oaths that they've done time and time again. Give me 2 Timothy 1:7. Let's see what Maccabeus was doing to the people. Let's see how he was churning them up. Let's see where that came from. Read that, bro.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear.
Bro, he literally was breaking it down to him, man. We already won. There's nothing to fear. Our power is rocking with us. Look at what we've done to the armies that already come past us. Look at how we set up their breaches and destroyed everything. Read.
But of power.
But of what?
But of power.
Read.
And of love. And of a sound mind.
Bro, he put everybody back into this sound state of mind, bro. He put everybody back into that peace, man. That's what their brother did. Let's go back. Chapter 15, starting verse 17.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15 and verse 17. Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas.
Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, people put back in a calm state of mind, man. Focused, ready for the battle. Read.
Which were very good and able to stir them up to valor and to encourage the heart of the young men. They determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them, and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temple were in danger.
See again, man, remember Nicanor decided that he was going to try to attack on the Sabbath day because in prior times they attacked on the Sabbath day and Israel didn't defend themselves. But guess what Maccabees said? You got me effed up. This is my people. This is my God. I'm going to do his will. I'm going to make sure my people faith. Read.
For the care that they took for their wives and their children, their brethren and kinsfolk, was in least account with them. But the greatest and principal fear was for the holy temple. Also, that they were in the city took not the least care, being troubled for the conflict abroad. And now, when as all looked what should be the trial, and the enemy was already come near, and the army was set in array, and the beasts conveniently placed, and the horsemen set in wings.
Jump over to verse 25.
Verse 25. Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encountered the enemy.
They did what?
Encountered the enemy.
Read.
With invocation and prayer.
Read.
SC.
It's so. There's just a typo.
So that fighting with their hands and praying unto God with their heart, that slew no less than 30 and 5,000 men.
He said, man, they were fighting with their hands, man, and praying with their hearts. All out of battle. Read.
For through the appearance of God, they were greatly cheered. Now when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness.
Man, through the battle, bro, they were fighting and praying, bro, and at the end of the day, the opposition was taken out. You try to come past them on the Lord's Sabbath day, bro, you got a rude awakening. This ain't no state property. This ain't no beans get down or lay down, because at the end of the day, you gonna be the one to lay it down. Read.
Then they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language. And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and in mind.
He said he was the defender of the citizens in both body and mind, man. That's why he brought the people to a calm state. That's why he showed them, bro, that God didn't give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the clear mind, man. Power. Read.
And who continued in his love toward his countrymen all his life, commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder, and bring them to Jerusalem. So when he was there, he had called them of his nations together, and set the priests before the altar. He sent for them that were in of the tower, and showed them vows Nicanor's head.
He showed them the head of the evil Nicanor, man. Read.
And the hand of that blasphemer, which was proud brag, he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty.
Jump over this to rock form. So he showed him the head of the Nicanor, bro, and the proud hand of the one that said he's going to deface God. That he's going to destroy the Jews. Remember, he hated the Jews. His whole sole purpose was to destroy the Jews. That's the whole reason why he was called upon, right? Read that, Sirach 4:28.
The book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 28. Read. Strive for the truth unto death.
What did it say, do, bro?
Strive for the truth unto death.
See, this is what Judas Maccabeus was doing. He was striving for the truth, man. Continuing to destroy their altars. Continuing to break down the strongholds. Continuing to uplift the people. Continuing to be that light. That leader. Read.
And the Lord shall fight for thee.
And what?
The Lord shall fight for thee.
Bro, in the end of the day, bro, this is the recognition of the Lord fighting. You do what needs to be done. He gonna be there to protect you. He say, I'm your strong tower. I'm your fortress. Go back. We're gonna end it off on this. We're coming to a close here. 2 Maccabees 15 and 32.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15 and verse 33. And we had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor. He commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowl, and hang up the reward of his madness before the temple. So every man praised toward the heaven.
They did what?
Praised toward the heaven.
Read.
The glorious Lord, saying, Blessed be he that hath kept his own place undefiled. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord.
He said, man, they held that head up, bro, as evidence of the power of the Lord. That we got help from the Lord Almighty, that we was powered up. Read.
And they ordained all with a common decree, in no case to let the day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month.
See, the 13th day of the 12th month, bro, it's coming up. It's coming up. The destruction of Nicanor is coming up. I went into this to show as to why they decided to turn this into that day. For the simple fact, this is what we was fighting against. Again, remember it said, bro, he hated the Jews, but he loved like a bitch. Wanted them to have a wife. Wanted them to have children. Wanted them to have a peaceful life. But at the end of the day, bro, his true spirit had to show. Read.
Which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Mordecai's day.
See, this destruction that they can find, going into the history, man, of your God, your power, sticking it out, riding with you, showing you what's what, showing you to strive for the truth of that. He for sure gonna fight for you. Showing you to never trust your enemy, because at the end of the day, your enemy gonna be what he is always destined to be, your enemy. And also revealing that Israel needs to wake up. Stop being scared to take something or research. You have to hold they come down, they shake back, give back. First, on that station.